Hi everyone, it's Beverly over at Crafting Chaos and I'm here going to put together one of the cards that we made for Thanksgiving. I will be working my way through these slowly because I did think they were actually super cute. These are my pieces that I've cut out, these individual different coloured ones for the flowers, feathers rather, flowers, got flowers on the brain. I've got this as a backdrop for the matting layer for this here, like so that's going to fit on here, and I'll just make sure that I use a wet glue for this so that I've got that wiggle room to make sure I get it in exactly the right places. And then I'm going to be matting on these feather pieces here and so on, and then last of all will come on the chicken or turkey figure with the bless this home, which as you can see I've drawn out in brown using a, let me just show you, brown Sharpie marker. These are the ultra fine markers. I taped it up so that when I put it in my universal pen holder it holds it firm, so that's what I've used to do the greeting. Now, so I'm going to start first of all, it scored where it did the dotted line, and I've just folded it in half and I've used my bone folder to make sure that it's nicely scored. So I'm going to open the card, so now I know that I need to be matting my pieces onto this side so that when it closes it's going to be like this. Okay, so I'm just going to do that now. So I'm going to take first of all the matting layer, this piece, and I'm going to be using my bookbinding glue from Pinflair, which I think is a great glue. It doesn't warp your card, it never seems to clog in the nozzle. Even if you leave it uncapped for several minutes it doesn't seem to block, and it's really low water content so it doesn't warp your card, and it gives a really good bond, so I think it's a win-win-win. So I'm just lining this up nicely on the base card, and when I'm happy with the position I'm pushing it into place like so. And then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the layers, and I thought it might, just instead of having all plain, I selected this nice patterned paper, which was just a free paper. I have used this on a project before, I think it was the Lion in the Sun, and it was just the offcuts left from that, and I thought that would be perfect because it pulls in all the colours that are actually in the turkey, so it'll give it a little bit of a lift. So again I'm going in with the bookbinding glue, just deciding which is the best side because it is double-sided, so I can pick and choose which way I want to use the pattern. So again I'm just placing these into position like so, and again just checking that I'm using the better side, if you will, that I prefer. So these are the 3, because it's a 9 feather turkey, so that means I've got 3 of one colour and then 2 of the rest, if that makes sense. So again I'm just adding the Pinflair glue, and you only need the smallest amount to get it a really good bond. So again and again it gives me that little bit of wiggle room to get it in position. I'm giving it a good push down once I'm happy with it. Then I think I'm going to go with the orange ones kind of here so that they're not next to directly the turkey feathers. So then I'm going to put those here and I'm going to stick it down so you can see it's coming together now. And then the next one Steve, my husband's just come home, he's been busy this morning. I'm just asking him if he wouldn't mind making me a cup of tea. Thank you. So I'm just sticking those 2 down, so at least we haven't been interrupted by the dog barking today. She's managed to stay quiet, even though she does get really excited when he comes home. So he's been busy this morning at meetings. He's had a lot of meetings this morning. I don't know, I've no idea what it's about, but no doubt he'll tell me later. So again, I'm just sticking these down where I think they look nice. So I've done some yellow ones, and I thought making it lots of different colours made it really an interesting card. Nice and colourful and bright, and sort of in keeping with the season as the leaves are now on the turn. So I don't know, in America they refer to this season as fall. In Britain we refer to it as autumn, autumnal colours. So you would be fall colours or autumn colours, whichever country you're watching from. So now I am just adding this, like I say, quite sparingly. And notice that it's been uncapped all this time and it's still not clogged. It just brilliant glue all round. Excellent stick. And no, I don't get any affiliation. I'm not trying to gain any extra finance by promoting this glue. It's just one that I actually really think is great for what it does. So I'm going to just put the lid on right now, and I'm going to grab a couple of Pro Market. Well, actually these I'm using my Spectrums because they're the ones I have to hand. So I'm just going to test the colour somewhere, if I can find a sheet. That'll do. So I just, because I'd cut these small ones, and incidentally I kind of forgot that I actually needed to include these. So what I've done is cut them on white, and I'm just going to shade them in. Obviously you could have cut them in the colour. That would also be fine. And it's just the beak really for the turkey that I'm colouring in. Not quite as orange as I'd hoped, that one. I can always turn it over and do it on the other side a different colour. So I think I'm going to flip that over and try to get a better orange. I've just spied one that's a better one. Just bear with me while I just grab this. And I'm going to just go over that and get a more of an orangey colour. That's better. I'm preferring that one. So I've just shaded that in. And also this dangly part, still no idea what you call it, needs to be like a reddish colour, so I'll just grab this red. Should have got these out really before. Nice bright red, but because I'm using Pro markers you get a good colour saturation on the card, and it's still going to be nice and firm. And I'm going to do it on both sides just in case anything shows. So I'm just flipping it over. Whoops. Like so. I'm shading both sides. So that's okay now. So then we've got to put this on here. So we need to be adding the dangly bit, whatever it's called, here for the turkey. And I might just try to pop that up on a tiny pad, or a tiny part of a pad. So I'll just get my Timmy scissors and see if I can cut a nice thin slither on here. And I'm going to sort of gauge how big it needs to be. I think we're okay there. So stick that there. And I'm thinking it's going to be easier to stick this on before I actually attach it to the card itself. Oops, I've let go too soon. So I need to get that in the middle there. Might be better if I do it this way. And I just move it down just slightly. I need it to be in the middle. Come on Beverly, you can do this. There we are. And then I'm going to go and stick this on top. So then we've got the turkey dangly bits, if you will. So all that joining bit there is going to be covered up by the turkey's body when we get him in place. But also what I needed was some black eyes, and I forgot to actually cut those. So what I'm going to do is just use a tiny punch. Oops. Sorry about that, just caught the camera as I stood up. Just going to have a tiny punch and see where that's looking now. Where's that piece gone? I seem to have lost a piece now. Anybody see it? Did it go on the floor? Has it stuck? Oh, it stuck to me. Got it. So I'm just going to have a go and see what this looks like. So I'm just going to cut it, punch a small circle in black. See how that's looking. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. So I think I'm going to do it white and see if I can get a pupil and see if that makes it a bit cuter. So I'm just punching a couple of white ones, and I'm also going to punch another black one, and you'll see why in a minute, like so. And then I'm just going to trim the black one down ever so slightly, but I mean I could have done this on a scan and cut if I hadn't forgotten, and I just thought it'd be quicker to just do it this way than take it back to the machine. So I'm just trimming off a small amount of the black part, and then what I'm going to do is get my glue. I'm going to stick that tiny black part to the whites, if you will, like so. And I'm going to do the same with this one. And you can just play around with this. You can do the eyes. You could draw them on. That would be quite an easy way of getting around this. But I quite fancied having, let's have a look what it's looking like. So I'm just going to put the eyes, something like that. And that gives it a bit of quirkiness, I think. And then obviously not the nose, it's the beak, isn't it, obviously. And that's going there. So I'm just going to, again, cut some small foam pads. It's a bit fiddly, but this is why I like to have a roll as well as the individual ones, because you can cut them to the size that suits you. So I'm just going to add that one to the beak, like so. And we're going to pull up the, I can get it off, the backing. It's very small, so I'm struggling just to get hold of the backing with my nails. Are quite short at the minute now. I finally got them sorted out yesterday, so they're looking better, but I actually had filed them really short, so I'm not used to, I don't like them long, but I'm not really used to them this short either. So that's the beaking position, if you will. I'm just going to stick that on the back there, because I'm going to need a thin slither for the leg, so I'm going to have that on there now ready, and then I'm not wasting it, it's already cooked. So I'm just going to position the eye, so I'm just putting a dot of glue in where I'm going to put the eyes, and then I'm going to, oh, wrong way around, see if I can get that off. There, dear, seem to be a bit fingers and thumbs today. Might struggle to pick it up now because it's got glue attached, but never mind, we'll go for it. Remember any little marks, because this is really good glue, it's going to dry clear. Again, another plug for the Pin Flare, but like I said, I'm not actually affiliated to him any way, shape or form. I don't get any money for mentioning them or any other, in fact I don't get any money for doing these videos whatsoever, a product or anything. It's all products of all stuff that's mine. And I just do it because the craft, if you will, crafting has given me such a lot in terms of keeping me sane when I've gone through some of the worst times in my life. Losing my sister and losing my mum within 12 months of each other. This is what kind of my family and craft have kept me going. So this is my way of just giving a little bit back to the crafting community, hopefully. And hopefully you're all enjoying the videos. I'm certainly enjoying making them, and it's lovely to see the comments that you leave. It's quite humbling really that people are actually watching these and actually loving the stuff that I'm making on the whole. I don't think I've had very many bad comments. I'm sure there are some people whom this is not their cup of tea, whatever. But I do try to do something that might appeal to everybody on my channel. And just bear in mind, you sewers out there that use the scan and cut fabric, these would make, I think personally, these could make some of these files that I've got could make really pretty appliques if that's the sort of thing you wanted to go for. You could cut the pieces out and then put them on the front of a cushion. You could do them much bigger than I've cut them, to go make a full display cushion, and I think that would be really lovely, especially for our American friends who do celebrate Thanksgiving holiday. And I think they've got a lovely idea going on over there in America, because I think when they have their Thanksgiving, from what I can gather from some of friends that I've got, an English friend called Chris, who's married to an American lady, lovely lady called what's she called now? Chris and Amy. I don't know why that went out of my head, it just fell out of my head then. It's absolutely lovely, and they live in, I think it's Wilmington, in America, and they said that Thanksgiving is like a really big deal in America, which I think is lovely, because I think it's a time as well where family actually get time to spend time as a family and enjoy the company, and I think that's always a good thing. Enjoying time with your family is always a lovely thing to do, so anything that encourages that, I'm all for. So anyway, enough about that. I'm just going to get out my personalised stamp now. I've got this, I've had it for ages, and I got it for, actually it's a clarity stamp. I don't have many clarity stamps, it's not they're not particularly my cup of tea per se. However, I do think they do make very good quality stamps, and this is one that I use, just my own personal logo, if you will, and I'm just going to stamp that on the back so they know it's a Beverly original, if you will. So there it is, handcrafted by Beverly. So that's my logo, if you will, and there's the finished card. So it's going to stand up nicely on the mantle. Wants to slip about on this mat, it's because it's very slippery. If I get something to stand it on, you can see it's going to stand up nicely. So there's our card for today. So I hope you've enjoyed that. That's the first one of the Thanksgiving series completed, and can you see when I've tried to explain in the video that like you get this part at the back that where it's folded where you'd have feathers missing, because it's got that layer on there, it gives the illusion that you've got the full card face, so you can have your shaped card and it's still showing all the feathers all the way around. Alright, so if you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, please like, share and subscribe to the channel if you don't already do so. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.